What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of The Sit Down. I'm your I'm your gracious host, Tall Shon. And just like all the sit downs, I get with great people doing real fun and dope things. And today is nothing different. I'm sitting with a great friend of mine, Brian TheBarber. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, my dude? Thank you very much for having me on your show.
No doubt.
I appreciate that. It means a lot. So I'm humbly gracious.
I appreciate it, man.
Most definitely.
Like, yo, so we're gonna get the small cliche questions out the way. Like, tell people, just give the people, tell people your name. Just give a small rundown about you.
My name is Brian TheBarber. I am located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am a master barber and a master instructor. I have my own suite working here. I've been here by myself for a little while. I have operated schools. I have operated barbershops, and I have operated my own location.
Mm-hmm.
More than that, I guess I got a crazy kind of story behind
Right.
everything. It's not really, as I tell everybody, it's not my story, but it's God's story through me. Through the past that I've been through and the circumstances I've been allowed to overcome, this is what I do now. So I do
Dope.
hair and I educate as well.
Dope. I think, look, I met you because I needed a barber at the time.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Most definitely.
so when I hit you based on all the photos I saw online because you have a very strong, presence online. You have a strong Instagram. You have a strong Facebook presence online. So for me, it was like good to see a barber with consistent work and quality work. So, like, what drives you to continue that quality? Because I see a lot of cats get up there in barbering or in styling, and they kind of fall off, some of them.
Yeah. And it's easy to do because when us, in the hair care industry, come to a place of complacency, as with any of us do in any position that we have or job title that we have, when you come to a place of complacency, you come to a place of mediocrity,
Right.
where you don't really perform like you're supposed to. Like when you first started, when you were hungry and
Right.
you wanted it so much.
Right.
So it's really on us to be able to consistently provide quality, which is my motto: consistent quality.
Right.
I truly believe in giving people a certain level in which they spend their money on to give, because this is a service-based industry.
Right.
You did.
Right. That's definitely something.
I'm servicing you.
Right.
You're choosing to spend your money with me.
Right.
You don't have to.
Facts.
You choose to.
That's very true.
So for somebody like me, excuse me, I that is very precious. I appreciate that, and so I try to, now as I've grown in the industry, I try to appreciate that more and how people come at me. So I try to take care of them a little bit better.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, question on, like, is barbering, being a stylist, being what you are, is it a passion thing, or is it a thing like, I'm just, let's be real, I'm trying to get some money, I'm good at what I do, so I'm trying to get some bread, or what's the case?
All right. As I would tell any of my students, brother, and I truly believe this, people that love what they do, love the industry,
Right.
they will further themselves and go much further than anybody else.
I agree.
Because you don't see people as dollar signs, you see people as people.
Right.
You remember your circumstances when you went to the barbershop as a child and growing up and as
right.
a teenager.
That's very true.
And the bad situations you've had, and you try not to give that to people. You understand?
Right.
You try to communicate and provide a ambiance and an environment that would be pleasing and conducive to what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So
I definitely agree.
it's a difference.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty care industry is it's a $1 billion industry. So if you can find your niche and find what you're good at within this niche, and like you said, and if it's something that's passion and something that you really want to do, yes, it won't feel like a job, and you can make some great money from it. So,
Correct.
Correct. Like, I know, you do a lot of minority-based hair, but I know you actually do everybody, and that's the reason why I chose you. That's the reason why I picked you as a barber, based on you can cut other people's hair too. As we
One
get.
thing I believed in, brother, when I went to barber school, I truly believed in if I was going to be a master barber, if I wanted to earn everything I could in this industry, because you got to understand my circumstances of when I went to school.
Right.
I was going to school and barbering was everything.
Right.
There was nothing else for me. So I devoted all my attention, all my energy, all my thought, everything into barbering and becoming who I wanted to become.
Right.
You dig? So I took it seriously. So in that aspect, hair is hair.
Facts.
It doesn't matter if it's ethnic hair or straight textured hair.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
You understand?
No, I do.
You're gonna learn the techniques that are conducive with each ethnicity.
Right.
And work that into your skill, man, and have that as your repertoire because you don't want to turn down money.
No,
starting out the gate, and that was my ideology.
Right.
I don't want to turn down anything.
Right.
I want to be able to, if I'm going to be a master and I'm truly going to be great at this and be good, I want to be able to do everything.
Right.
So in barber school, which is the most important time for anybody, that's why I learned a great foundation for everything I do now.
Okay. Now, give people a rundown about your background. Like, how did you start? Like, what motivated you into this? I know, but let's give the people in my audience a little rundown about that.
Praise God. For me, in 1998, man, I got locked up and I ended up doing 15 years straight. During that time that I did, I was incarcerated for 15 years. God allowed me to develop a skill that would provide a future for me. Right. And while I was away, I began to learn how to cut hair with a razor and a comb. And I started out.
That's not easy, yo.
Yo, it's not.
It's not easy
and
at
listen,
all.
And the
man.
funny thing is, right?
I
was sitting in the county jail, and I used to watch guys around me who would break the razor blade out of like a $2 big razor,
right? And
they would use it to edge people up. They put it in a comb and trim people down and fade and blend and do stuff like that, and it amazed me. And so one of the things. See, when I went to the county jail, one of the things that an older gentleman taught me was, he was like, Brian, there's 3 things. Well, they used to call me Light. So he was like, yo, Light, there's 3 things that you need to know how to survive in prison. And one of the key principles that he told me of surviving was never owe anybody anything.
Right.
Never need or depend or owe anybody anything.
Right.
And so I took that into account as I would have to learn how to edge myself up, do my own haircuts, provide for myself all the way around the board.
Right.
That was my ideology. Right. So what I did, I used to watch these jokers in the county jail, Wake County Detention Center. I'd watch them with the razor blades start edging people up. And so I started grabbing razors and breaking them open. The orange little big blades, the single blade ones, I would break them open and start just trimming my hair.
Wow.
So I get the feel of, am I pulling through hair or am I getting ready to cut the skin? And so as time went on, I just began to build off of that and practice cutting hair and with that method until I got to a place where I could learn how to cut with clippers a little bit.
Wow.
And one day in 2008, after I had been transferred around to different facilities, I was at Harnett Correctional and they were starting the first barbering program. And I enrolled into the program. And I was one of the first 20 people, and I completed the program, first in the state, graduated, got my barber license through the state of North Carolina. While I was on state incarcerated, and I finished my sentence while I was incarcerated cutting for the state. So during that time, I had to cut every texture of hair.
Wow.
You dig?
Yeah.
It wasn't just ethnic or straight hair clients.
Right.
It was a mixture of both, in between, and everything you could think of.
Right.
I remember doing my first perms and relaxers in prison.
Wow.
On guys. Yeah. That's where I got the basis for this stuff that I do. So for me, that's like I said, school gave me the foundation for everything, and that's how I became a barber. Through that process when I first started out.
Okay, can't beat that. I mean, I like that story, man. Just to really go through the steps of you starting this. Yes, the circumstances might not have been the greatest, but you actually picked something up out of it. Spending that time in.
True indeed. Because the thing about it is, bro, I knew I was coming home, and I always knew to myself, like, how how are you gonna provide? What are you gonna do?
Right, right.
You dig? What's your next step?
Right.
Because you got 2 kids at home. So what are you gonna do when you come home?
Right.
You know, you
Right.
need a skill.
You need something. You need to be able to do something.
That will make you marketable in today's society.
And so your ass don't go back.
Because
It could be,
because you know how
can
easy
quickly,
it is to go back.
it's easy to double back,
True indeed.
you know, than to go forward. So I definitely understand that, man. I mean, I've known so many brothers that have gone in, and I have never have, but I know so many brothers that I've helped out or I've spoken to that have gone in, and they quickly double back and went right back in because their thing was, I didn't have another way, or they didn't try.
Can I share something with you? Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to, because bro, when I first got out, I got April 11, 2013, and that's after doing like 15 years in prison.
Right.
I didn't have a great understanding of technology, stuff like that, and all I got was a couple pieces of paper talking about these places that would hire me that are felon friendly.
Right.
And I got a $45 gate check. You dig? And so when they gave me these things, I went around to these jobs or corporations that were felon friendly that would hire the felon, and nobody would hire me, bro. Nobody would hire me. I'm at the barbershop not knowing how to market myself, not knowing how to push myself, not making any money like that.
Right.
And then I try to get a second job going to, and I'm not gonna call any names. I don't want to. But these corporations, you can look them up online, that are felon-friendly places that hire felons. Nobody would hire me, bro. And so I'm an adult, 30-something-year-old adult, living at home with mama and daddy, and only barely making $200 a week. You did?
Right. And that can push you. That could definitely push you back to what you used to do, especially when you used to bringing in more. I know people looking at. I know people looking at it like, man, you should be happy you're making something. I hear what you're saying, but when you're used to getting money a certain kind of way, it's hard.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to mentally.
And your pride messes with you.
Yeah, your pride.
Because I'm gonna tell you a story, and I tell this story, and it's funny that I tell it. But I started dating the girl that I always wanted when I came home. As a teenager, I never got her, but when I came home, I got her.
Right.
And so she had just bought a new house, and I had just came home, and I was struggling to find my place and my position and earn money, right?
Right.
She's getting hers, doing a great career, bought a house, everything. And I think everything's hunky-dory with us. This is my word, bro. One day I woke up in the morning, and she's woke, sitting up beside me, looking down at me. And I look up at her like, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? You know what she says to me, brother?
What?
And forgive my language.
No, say what you want.
She said, I got a nigga in the bed that can't do shit for me. How do you think I felt?
Right. No, pride. Just went straight to it.
Bro, I used to have
straight
money
at that ego.
I used to be I used to get money.
Right.
So money was nothing.
Right.
But to hear that and know the position I was in, struggling, trying to become who I wanted to become, trying to become a successful person, trying to just find a place to be sustainable, fresh out of prison,
a citizen, and not go back.
Correct.
Right.
That right there, man, that hurt my pride so bad because I had put the woman here, and when she hit me with the comments, it hit me here.
Right.
And that shit was just like, whoa.
Whoa, right.
You dig? So at that moment, I knew the individual that I used to be and what I used to be able to do and how easy it would for me to be able to do what I used to do.
Right.
And I had a choice right there, a decision to make, which way I wanted to go. And for me, that was a hard decision, bro. But at that moment, I got all my stuff, got dressed, and walked away and never looked back from her.
Right.
And I went back to school, got my instructor license, and became an instructor.
Right.
And became a salaried employee and got a salary, purchased a home, purchased a car, started doing things normal people do in America who have never been to prison, went through college and graduated, what have you. And I'll never forget this. It was after I bought my house, bro. And I had only had this job about 6 months, and the bank approved me like that. And I don't know how. I came home from all them years.
It was your time. It was your time.
I didn't understand it, bro.
And blessings are different, man, because we may want something to happen immediately, but it takes that moment, and you went through that moment where you had that fork in the road where you were being tested. Are you gonna go back, or you're gonna move forward. Cause it's easy to double back. It's never easy to go forward. You know what I mean? I've been there before in my life where it's easy to just go back to what the old Shon would do versus what this Shon would do. You know what I mean? So,
and to give credit to my dad, he always used to tell me, big bro, it's so easy to get into trouble, but so hard to get out of trouble.
It's damn sure hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's damn sure hard. Yeah. And that's a good thing, man. That was like I was just saying, it was that fork in the road moment. And when you chose the direction that you chose, that's when the blessings start to fall.
I can't attribute it all to myself.
Right. I mean, there's
people who played parts in my life who allowed me. God put them in places to allow me to become what I become.
Facts.
And I give credit to everybody at every portion of my life.
Right.
You dig? Because I understand that. And at that time, shout out to my cousin Kendrick Henderson, aka Supreme. We both went through the same situations, same barber schools, came out same situations out here, and we both went back to school at the same time to get our instructor license. And we both had people in our corners pushing us because they believed in the people we could be.
Right.
And I believe that is so very important out here, man. For a lot of us who come out of the situations of being incarcerated, you have to have a vision of what you want to do. Surround yourself by people who will push you or throttle you to become that.
Right.
And then surround yourself by that.
Yes.
So it's very important.
Right.
I've learned a lot, man.
I mean, I even think, and even outside of that, people, even not being incarcerated, you're around negative folks all the time, nothing positive is ever going to happen to you.
Yeah,
because all that energy does is transfer. Energy transfers, and if you were always negative, we would never talk. Because I believe in keeping as much positive energy around me and positive people around me as possible. Because I can't grow if I'm not being watered. You know what I mean? I can't grow. That energy, it feeds. So I'm glad you noticed that. You know what I mean? I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad you felt it, and I'm glad you acknowledged the people that helped you. Because a lot of people don't acknowledge the folks that have actually been in their lives that helped them grow.
And listen, even at times when we're going through certain situations and the pressure is applied, we don't appreciate the pressure.
No, we don't.
You dig? But once we get through it and look back, we be like, oh, okay.
Damn, I needed that.
That's why.
Right.
And so I appreciate the people who made me who I am, who allowed me to be who I am, even down to my clients. Because truth be told, I'm not an easy dude to get along with. I got a slick mouth.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. I got you.
I come off with an attitude at times. I'm human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got a PTS old druggy mentality.
No, I got you. You know, I know you. So we politic. We've had dope conversations. You know what I mean? I know I haven't seen you in a while because I've been so busy.
I know.
You know what I mean? And
you know it ain't nothing.
No, I know it ain't nothing because it's just we always talk. I see you online and we politic back and forth and we send texts. So I know for me, it's like I like genuine folks like that. Because if I feel like you always on the job when I see you, I know you're not someone I'm going to continue to build with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is someone that's, okay, you always on the job? All right, then that's cool. Then I'll just come here, I'll get my hair cut, and I'll move on.
I did.
You know what I mean?
So, listen, for me, too, I'm going to be honest, man. In this industry of what I do, I feel like God has allowed me to be a servant to others. And the more time I spend in the industry, the more I grow in it, the more I learn, and the more I appreciate where I'm at.
Right.
Because I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to have what I have and do what I do, nor be this decent at what I do. Because I'm
don't.
okay.
Stop it. You don't.
I'm okay.
No, you don't. It's cool. I mean, I feel you. You started my locks. My locks are growing like nuts right now.
Let me see.
I'll take it off of the camera.
And that came from me right now?
Yeah. They start. I need to get them retwisted now.
And you don't even come back to me.
I don't, man. I don't.
The brother don't even
I've been busy. I've been busy.
And us
Look, I
barbers
got a show.
And listen, us barbers are sensitive, man.
Man, I got a show.
No matter what nobody tell you, barbers are sensitive. And we always wonder, what the hell did I do to that
You
client?
did absolutely nothing.
What did I do to him?
You did absolutely
nothing.
What
happened?
Nothing. You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing.
I'm telling you, that's how we really be feeling, bro.
I don't go to no one else.
We may not say nothing to nobody,
right?
But deep down inside, barbers are sensitive.
But
they want to know what
I don't go to anyone else to get my hair cut, but my wife does twist my twist my locks.
No doubt.
She keep my locks twisted, but I cut my own hair right now. And the only reason why I do that is because like I told you prior, I'm one of those dudes. I'm calling you the day before I need an appointment, and I know how you do things. You're busy, or I shoot a text and don't hear back, and you be like, "Dog, you know my number. Why you texting me? Just call me."
Hey, yo, that's
I'm trash at it.
Hey, see, that's the one thing I hate, man. I hate when people like you, who know better,
right?
Who know better,
facts.
Don't call my personal line,
right?
Because you got my personal line, bro, and you can call me anytime, but you choose not to. You want to. That's like
them texts.
That's like my homeboy Floyd, aka Rashard, who want to send me a message through Facebook when we FaceTime every other day. You want to talk to me?
It's like, dog, you
FaceTime me,
right,
or call me,
right. We got
don't
your
hit
math.
me with the roundabout.
But you know how it is, man. You know how it is. All right, online we're gonna get a photo out. Oh, you going to video? All right. So, like, what is the plans for this? I know you have your own suite. You're growing into something that you're trying to do. What are the plans? Like, what are you growing into? What's the next step?
Lord willing, Christ willing, man. One day I would like to open up my shop/school, man. Okay. There are things that I want to do. I feel like God has me to be in a certain position and speak to a certain type of people because of what I've been through, and I want to. It's hard because I don't understand a lot of things being incarcerated. At 36, I was locked up 18 years. So you understand, there's a lot of things I don't understand, but God has allowed me to continue to flourish.
Right.
You did.
Right.
So everything for me is a process, a growing process, and for me trying to achieve what I see at the end of the line. Because I see the end of the line.
Right. I've seen you teach. I've seen you do a seminar and whatnot.
Time out.
What's up?
I got a class at the end of the month. I'm going to Paul Mitchell's on the 28th and the 29th. You got time?
I told you I could do one of those days.
You can do one?
Yeah, I can do one of those days. I'll let you know. I'll let you know afterward. I'll tell you
Paul Mitchell's. You know I love doing Paul Mitchell.
No, Paul Mitchell was dope. Yeah. And that's the one I'm speaking of. Like, I thought it was dope how engaged that all the students were. All the students were super dope. It was super engaged. They were like asking some real great questions. So, and I saw you thrive. I actually saw you get in your bag because you was in your bag. You was like on it, showing all the techniques. You had different people up there that hair you were cutting and styling, and I could see how dope the students were in interacting with you. So, where did that passion come from?
You made me put down the phone on that.
Yeah.
My passion for teaching, man, to be honest with you, I don't give a lot of credit to Tim and Corey that hired me for Park West Barber College, but they did. Miss Green, shout out to Miss Green, who hired me from Park West Barber College. When I came into teaching, after going through what I went through all my life in that situation, when I became an instructor, standing on this side of the tables where students were sitting there and talking to them.
Right.
Having them come in the office and sit down with me every day, you know, I'll never tell who or nothing like that, but I've had some students sit in front of me and cry.
Wow.
Sharing their stories of what they're trying to do, achieve things that I've went through.
Right.
And that I'm trying to achieve too at the same time with them.
Right.
You did. It made me appreciate where I was at, and it made me feel like God had me in a position not to educate people, but to guide people. God gave me the gift of cutting hair. I can cut hair.
Right.
I'm halfway decent at it.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
And I can teach other people how to do it. And I thank Christ for that. And when I was in a position of teaching, bro, at that one moment when I was working for Park West, I felt like I was doing what God wanted me to do because I was talking to people who were just like me, going through situations like me, trying to change their life, better themselves, just like me.
Right.
And for me, I am an example that it can be done. You can come through this, you can go through this, and it can be done if you follow certain steps, if you do certain things, if you continue to grow and keep a certain mind frame.
Right.
That's where
good.
I was at.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. Because once again, like I said, I saw the passion when especially when students start asking questions. When you call people up to come and actually be an assistant who probably not even used to doing anything like that, seeing where their skills at. Because I think when you were teaching those students, a lot of them haven't been tested like that. Because you could tell, like, when you told one young lady, all right, we're going to wash his hair. She was super nervous.
Shampoo.
Yeah, shampoo. I'm sorry. Shampoo. I didn't, the terms of you guys.
Right, correct.
I wash my hair, though. But you call the young lady up, hey, shampoo his hair.
Because how do you learn better, though, bro? Yeah. You learn better from a guy standing at a chalkboard writing all day, or for you getting up, putting your hands on something, you doing it, feeling it, and going through, learning hand
you need those interactions.
For those things.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, you need that interaction. And I thought that was dope, man, because it was just to see how vulnerable she was, but then she went right to it. When she realized she got over it, she went right to it because it's like, hey, this is a moment that you don't get always.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So now that you want to open that, I've known for a while that you've been wanting to open your own school, and I really see that happening soon for you.
I'm going to be honest, man.
What's up?
I have a passion to do that, a desire to do that, because I believe, as this one sister told me, Brian, this is your hair ministry, and that's why I use that hashtag a lot, hair ministry. I believe that it's a very long process, man. You got to understand, I came out of prison after 15 years with nothing.
Right.
Started in the industry teaching because I couldn't really build clientele. And now I'm trying to build clientele and off by yourself. It's a very difficult process.
No, I bet it is.
Especially when you do it solo, by yourself with nobody else with you.
I know me as someone that's been clients. I haven't had a whole lot of barbers. I don't believe in dealing with a whole bunch of people, especially when it comes to my hair.
Right.
But
why did you come back to me? Why did you come to me?
Why I keep it funky. The barber.
Why did you come back after?
The reason why I came is because the barber that I was with, I believe in this. Okay, I get a haircut once, twice a month maybe, because I like to let my hair grow out. Even my boys, I let my hair grow out. I don't want my boys' hairlines to be messed up. So I believe in that. So the barber I had, the haircut only lasts like 3 days. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 days after I left the chair. And I used to be a barber. So I know your haircut shouldn't last no 2 or 3 days. That means you cutting through the grain wrong, you doing something wrong. I wasn't at the level that you guys were. You know what I mean? I was like I was at the last seat. You know how that last seat in the barber? I moved up like 2 more seats and I was Gucci. You know what I mean? I was in college. So I knew it shouldn't been that. So I kept like, man, but I'm loyal. And I'm too loyal sometimes. But it was like, it got to a point where even my son was like, Dad. And he was 5 at the time. He looked at me. I don't like going over there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna change up.
Out of the mouth of babies.
Yup. As soon as he said that, I listened to my kids. Oh, you don't? Cool. And it wasn't that the ambiance was bad. He just didn't like his results. He didn't like his haircuts.
Wow.
So we came to you. We came to you, and after he got his haircut, that's when you was all the way in Cary. You remember, I was driving all the way to Cary from Raleigh to get a haircut.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you moved in the city, I was like, hell yeah, he up the street now.
I remember that.
And I bring my boys all the time, bring my son all the time. So and then my haircuts lasted the accurate amount of time in my head that it should be. Yeah. And that's over a week. You know what I mean? It should be about a week, damn near 2 weeks before my hair start frizzing and looking nuts.
That's a long time, bro. Because
about a week, man, week and a half, man.
It varies.
It does vary. It varies on hair. It varies on hair. But your haircuts always last. I brought my wife too. I brought a whole family. Brought myself. I brought my wife.
I know that's right.
And then that's the thing. For me, comeback means it's not always about the price. It's about I bring a crew with me. You know what I'm saying? I have 2 sons. At that time, I was bringing my 1 son. Right. Now the baby is older. Now I bring a crew with me. I bring 2 sons and my wife. She cuts her hair on the sides. Yeah. So for me, if my family is comfortable,
which by the way, he hasn't been coming to me. Yeah. I don't know where he's been going. He doesn't talk to me anymore.
I'm at Shon's barber. I'm at Tall Shon.
Hey, look, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's been.
I hit you up. It's been
tight. You know,
I've been saying, Merry Christmas.
He want to call last minute. I can't do last minute.
That's my problem. I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to fix that.
That's how he does.
I'm gonna have to do a standing appointment. That's what I'm probably gonna have to.
Bro,
do.
I could always do that.
I know that's probably gonna be a lot easier.
I have numerous clients that, like for my Thursdays and Friday and Saturday morning, I have numerous individuals that have like reoccurring appointments that go ahead and I lock them in.
Yeah, that's probably the best bet for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually going to LA Grammy weekend soon, so I'm definitely gonna need a haircut.
Need me on the red eye to come out there to get y'all right? What's up?
Definitely gonna need a haircut.
You gonna be at the Grammys? What's up?
Hey man, we're just working, fam.
One day,
I'm just
one
working.
day, man.
I'm just trying to get it like
one
you.
Day
I'm trying to get it like
level.
you.
Nah, and
so,
listen, if I, this I honestly believe this.
What's up?
If I was in a different market, I would appeal to certain type of market bases like that, and I could get there.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But I don't have the right market.
But that was my next thing. Being this type of barber that you, because you're a styler. Like I've seen how you do people hair from dreads, twisting dreads, the way you do cuts, different designs, different looks. You don't get a lot of that here. So, like, is this so? As we talking, I guess is the market, the area hindering what you really could do, even financially?
Yeah, I mean.
Let's be real.
Bro, if I don't know. Who's to say if I don't go to ATL, if I don't go to Miami, if I don't go to LA, that I couldn't thrive and build something different and do something different. But shit, if I can't do it here, why can't I do it somewhere else?
I get what you're saying, and I hear that when people always say you can't get popping at home. How you gonna get popping everywhere else? I'm sorry, fam. I'm not from here. I'm not from Florida, and I lived in Florida for years. I'm from South Carolina. I've got it popping everywhere I've been. I've got it popping everywhere I've been, no matter where I've been at. So when I hear people say, "Oh, if you can't get popping at home, you ain't popping," I'm not popping at home.
You're big ego. And listen, I truly believe in this.
I'm not popping at home.
If God has blessed you with a skill or an ability, no matter where you go or what you do, you still gonna have that ability.
That's how I feel.
You're still gonna be able to do X, Y, Z.
If you can network, you can network everywhere.
Yeah, that ain't.
If you can build, you can build everywhere. Now, we don't want you to leave here. And, I'm going to pause for a second. I know everybody like, man, with him, we have a conversation. With this show, it's about a conversation. It's not all about asking a whole series of questions and just and just going down. Right. And I like getting comfortable with the people I'm sitting with and that I'm talking with because I can get more out of you in that manner.
Okay.
So back to it, it's not about, we don't want you to go, and I see what you're doing with your brand and how you can build it. I think also, once you figure out people you can build with, I can see it going further. Like, is there people out there in the hair care network or the community that you building with that you feel like you can build something with other than by yourself, or you just like me?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest, man. Unfortunately, in our industry, there's a lot of jealousy.
That's true.
There's a lot of envy. There's a lot of fakeness.
Right.
But truth be told, bro, I appreciate everybody, man. I even though Tim and Corey, that corporation, that business entity, did not.
You gotta just go ahead and bounce around. It's fine.
Man, they ain't pay me my money, man.
Yeah, I guess
they still owe me money, paychecks.
Right.
And they never paid me.
Right.
I don't feel bad. You did?
Yeah, I understand.
If I see him, I'd be greedy.
Right.
I'd be cordial with him.
Right.
You know? When I left them and went to work for these other organizations that I went to work for, not calling no names.
Right.
I went to them because I respected them, and I had nothing but respect for them because of what they've accomplished, and I still have nothing but respect for what they've accomplished and working underneath not only one but two different branches of that entity. I began to understand why and how they operate the way they do.
Right.
You did.
I understand.
And I appreciate it. I mean, I'm cool, and I have nothing wrong. I don't have no ill will towards nobody. Right. I don't feel no type of way because we all got our own journey. We all got our own path.
Yeah, we gotta take our own direction.
What's for you is for you. What's for me is for me.
Right. I understand that.
Nobody can stop you from getting you. except for you.
Facts. That's very true.
I can't stop me but me.
No, that's very true.
You dig?
Right.
So I just jumped off and just going down this path and doing that, man.
So, but we all know, man, within business, you need a team. I had to finally realize I needed a team. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I realized I needed a team and I started growing my team, my business started flourishing, and everything that you've seen me do that I post, because I don't post everything that I'm doing.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
So everything that you've seen me do, it's because of the people I have around me that helped me grow. So eventually, fam, you gotta find you a team. You gotta get you together some people. You know what I mean? That can help what you do. If not,
can I be honest, man?
What?
I'll be honest.
Yeah, be honest. That's what we're here for.
Being in the position that I'm in right now and trying different things in business, because I'm self-employed, I take a blow harder.
I know.
When I try different things in business.
Hell yeah.
And I've tried different things in business, and I've sustained, but I also lost.
Right.
And I understand why I've lost and why I've sustained. I for anybody in the barbering industry, hair care industry, I know I'm different. I know I'm not an average, ordinary barber. I don't provide an ordinary experience when you come to me.
Right.
You did.
No, that's another reason why I come.
I'm not your average, ordinary. And so because of that, I separate myself price point wise, which also separates me clientele base wise.
Right. I understand.
You feel me?
I understand. It's another level.
That is something that
Bless you.
Lord, excuse me. That is something that my instructor put in me. Set a standard, make your clients respect it. If they don't, then they're not the client for you.
Right.
Period. You wouldn't let anybody just walk over you in your business.
No, it's not happening, fam. Nah.
You know your worth in your own
definitely
business,
know my worth. Right.
You did. So it's the same thing for us. But in the hair care industry, a lot of people look at us like, oh, you're just a hairstylist.
Right.
Oh, you're just a barber.
Yeah, that's true.
And people minimize or demean what we do in this industry, but yet and still you want to come to me every day, every week, once a week, and be very picky about the things that you want because you know what this affects.
Right.
Not just outwardly, psychologically, what this affects.
It does. It damn
so
sure does.
For me, I hate
take
when
years
I get
off your life when you get a good haircut, boy. You like, God damn.
Bro, I'm talking about, man, I hate when people minimize what I do. You know?
I understand. So in barbering, there's some new stuff going on. And there's a lot of people getting into it. So
units.
Yeah. Are you getting into the units? I don't need no units, so I'm not asking for myself.
Yes,
but
I do.
You getting
Listen,
into
yes, I do man units. Am I as good as some of the ones that are stand out in other geographical locations?
Right.
No, because nobody in the city is really that good at it like that or promotes themselves in that manner. Yes, I do them. Yes, I do multiple styles of them. I don't talk about them because my clients don't want me to post on them.
Of course not.
They don't want me to show stuff about it.
Yeah,
so even doing the before and afters, I can't even do them because I have to respect my clients' wishes.
And that's all that matters first of all, the game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because at the end of the day, when you spending your money, I want you to feel satisfied you spending your money in whatever fashion or form you spend it in.
Right. So how many have you done thus far? Because I remember when you started talking about it. So are people around here actually getting them done?
I've done a few.
Okay.
I've done a few. But there is a limited clientele base of who gets them done.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
It's a very particular demographic that is very particular about their wants and their needs. It's not for everybody because it's a costly expense. It's an expenditure. And it costs to maintain. I'm a little bit cheaper than other individuals when I do it, but still, you got to think, man, you got to be in it to win it, man.
Facts. If you're doing something like that.
Right. And for people who do this, these are people that are very self-conscious about their hair and what they've been through. They've had a traumatic experience with alopecia or losing hair or receding.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that? You can give me the PG version on it, or what are your thoughts about men getting it, or you gonna give me your honest opinion? What's your honest opinion about man unit as me and the fellas call it, weaves for the guy.
Weaves,
Yeah.
It's a non-surgical hair replacement system, sir. That is the technical term in which we call it, a non-surgical hair replacement system. I feel like this. What's wrong with you taking pride in who you are? If you can afford it and want this,
Right.
and it makes you feel a certain type of way, it affects you in a certain type of way. Who's to tell you that $200 pair of jeans that you just bought and that $100 shirt you just bought doesn't make you feel a certain type
No, that's
of way?
facts.
You
That's
feel
facts. No, that's facts. That's facts. I agree.
Who doesn't make you feel like that $50 game that you just bought for your gaming system doesn't make you feel well?
Right.
And the hours you spend on that gaming system.
Right.
Different people have different things that feel affect them or appeal to them in certain manners. So for some individuals, they choose to spend their money that way.
Right.
You feel me?
Right, I understand.
You know.
I definitely understand. I don't see a problem with it. Me and the guys had a big debate about it because someone was like, you're a sucker if you do it. And I'm like, yo, I don't see how's that being a sucker. I feel like this. And they say women do it all the time. And it makes them feel good. They get their hair done. They make them feel good. They feel presentable. They feel like they want to feel.
Listen,
fellas, go out there and do your thing.
Dig. I'm not going to equate a man to a woman.
No, of course, I'm not going to equate
I ain't gonna
the same
do that.
thing. But it makes you feel good. It's your hair.
But men have been getting color in their hair
Facts.
for longer.
That's very true.
How many times have men Beijing their hair? And
Right.
and use Beijing as shading on the skin, not the
that's,
coloring of the hair.
Yo, that's wild.
Not
too.
the coloring of the hair, but the shading of
When
the
you
skin.
see a whole Beijing
to
line,
create lines.
that's nuts.
So, but guys are completely happy with this. Even
Looks wild, though.
Even some of us that use line enhancements
Mm-hmm.
across our beards,
Mm-hmm.
we use those to create something because we don't have something.
That's real. That's fair.
You know, so we all have a certain level of
Yeah, I got you.
self-consciousness.
Yeah,
you know,
that's very true.
So,
Yo, so as we get ready to wrap things up,
all right, come
like
on.
let people know, you know what I'm saying, give the people something that you really want them to know about Brian the Barber and, where they can find you.
First of all, you can find me on Instagram at 919BTB, otherwise known as at 919 Brian the Barber.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Snapchat, BTB919. You can find me on Facebook, Brian the Barber Henderson. For me, brother, my story is a story of redemption.
Mm-hmm.
My story is a story of turning your life around and creating something out of nothing.
Right.
If you're in this hair care industry, or if you're in this barber industry and you want to grow, you want to be different, you don't want to be like everybody else, there is a lane for you. There is a position for you. There is a place for you to grow. I want people to see that you can come from nothing like me and have a story like mine, but coming to something like what I have now and do the things I've done. I haven't accomplished a lot, but the things that I have accomplished, other people can do.
Right.
And so for me, I want my life to be that example. I want to be a testimony for somebody else to be able to overcome and achieve what they want to achieve, period.
That's what's up, man. This has been a great interview. I appreciate you, bro.
Man, I'm honored. I appreciate you having me on the show, big dog.
Always, man. As always. Yo, once again, everybody, you can catch the sit down every Thursday, right here. On Facebook TV, man. It's your boy Tall Shon. This is Brian the Barber.
At 919BTB. Hashtag 919BTB, TGBS, man. Y'all know what it is.
Catch us next week, man. Got another great show, another great person to speak with. I'm out.